Today I will be explaining the psychology of social impact, otherwise known as social impact theory. I hope that after this demonstration you understand what social impact theory is, what it entails, and how it is supported. Social impact theory is defined as any of the variety of changes in physiological states and subjective feelings, motives and emotions, cognitions and beliefs, values and behavior that occur as a result of the real or imagined presence or actions of other individuals. It was created by social psychologist Bibb Latané in 1981 and is used to explain obedience, peer pressure, conformity, and bystander apathy. Social impact theory considers how individuals can be sources or targets of social influence. The more targets of impact that exist, the less impact each individual target has, as shown in the image above. There are three fundamental factors that affect the target. The target could be, for example, someone's behavior. These three fundamental factors are strength, which is a sum of all factors that make an individual influential, immediacy, which is how recently an event occurred, and number of sources, specifically how many sources of influence act on the target. In terms of groups, specifically social impacting groups, strength is how important the influencing group of people are to you. Immediacy is how close the group are to you in space and time at the time of the impact, and number of sources is how many people are in the group. In 1990, Sudeikis and Jackson conducted a study at the Bronx Zoo to put social impact theory to the test. In this study titled A Field Test of Source Strength, Source Immediacy, and Number of Targets, an experimenter dressed either as a zookeeper or in casual attire and asked zookeeper visitors either in an authoritative or mild manner not to lean on the railing of an exhibit. The recipients of the messages were in groups of varying sizes. The visitors' response to the source messages were measured 4 times, before the intervention, immediately after the message with the experimenter still present, after the experimenter left, and in an adjacent room in the absence of the experimenter. The variables that were manipulated to test social impact theory were source strength, source immediacy, and number of targets. With regard to clothing, in the high-strength condition, the experimenter wore a zookeeper's uniform, complete with an official patch on the shirt. In the low-strength condition, he wore a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals. With regard to type of message, the experimenter used one of the two phrasings. A high-strength message, which would be, "Excuse me, don't lean on the rails," or a low-strength message, which would be, "Excuse me, I would like to ask you not to lean on the rails." The tone of the messages were kept constant. For source immediacy, the rail leaning behavior of the patrons was measured 4 times. Before they were given the message, immediately after the experimenter's message, after the experimenter left, and in the adjacent shorebird's room. For number of targets, zoo patrons were approached in their naturally occurring group size, which ranged from 1 to 6 persons, and care was taken to ensure that all patrons in the room were together, that is, composing a group of friends or family members. The result of the study states that high strength and high immediacy sources were found to exert more impact than low strength and low immediacy sources, respectively, thus supporting social impact theory. As I was doing my research, I found that social impact theory was later reformulated to accommodate the influence of targets on sources. Dynamic social impact theory explains how groups change and develop over time. Specifically, groups organize into 4 patterns. These 4 patterns are consolidation, which is growth of the majority, clustering, which is the emergence of small groups whose members hold similar opinions, correlation, which is the convergence of group members' opinions on a variety of issues, and continuing diversity, which is the maintenance of the beliefs of the members of the minority. Although important for understanding impacts and social dynamics, social impact theory is but one explanation for how coherent structures of cultural elements emerge from the interactions of people. For more information on social impact theory, please refer to any of the above sources. Thank you.